The 1970s represented both the peak and decline of the classic American muscle car era. As the decade began, automakers were locked in a horsepower arms race, producing some of the most powerful factory vehicles ever built. However, rising insurance costs, stricter emissions regulations, and the oil crisis would soon bring this golden age to an abrupt end. Despite these challenges, the early 1970s gave birth to monsters of torque and horsepower before manufacturers were forced to detune their engines and focus on fuel economy rather than raw power. These muscle cars embodied American automotive excess, offering ordinary buyers extraordinary performance, even if only for a brief moment in history. Here are the top 10 most powerful factory muscle cars of the 1970s, ranked by their horsepower ratings straight from the assembly line. Dear viewer, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support. Number 10. The 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1. The 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1 was Buick's ultimate answer to the muscle car wars, packing a massive 455 cubic inch, 7.5-liter V8 engine that produced an underrated 360 horsepower and a tremendous 510 pound-feet of torque. Buick had long been known for producing comfortable, luxurious cars for more mature buyers, but the GSX Stage 1 shattered that conservative image with its striking Saturn yellow or Apollo white paint, contrasting black racing stripes, and functional hood scoops. The Stage 1 package included a high-performance camshaft, upgraded valve springs, a recalibrated carburetor, and a more aggressive ignition advance curve that transformed the already powerful GSX into a quarter-mile monster. Despite its luxury brand origins and hefty weight of nearly 3,800 pounds, the GSX Stage 1 could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds and devour the quarter mile in 13.4 seconds. Numbers that were remarkable for the time. Only 400 GSX Stage 1 models were produced in 1970, making it one of the rarest and most collectible muscle cars of the era. While its advertised 360 horsepower rating seemed modest compared to some competitors, automotive historians and testers have long suspected that Buick significantly underrated the engine's output to keep insurance rates manageable for buyers. Number 9. The 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30. The 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30 represented the pinnacle of Oldsmobile's muscle car program, combining luxury with brute force in a way that few competitors could match. Powered by a 455 cubic inch 7.5-liter V8 engine officially rated at 370 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, the W30 package transformed the already potent 442 into a legitimate street monster. The W30 option added a fiberglass hood with functional air scoops, a performance camshaft, improved cylinder heads, a specially calibrated carburetor, and a high-flow air induction system that drew cool air directly from the front bumper. This system, with its distinctive red plastic inner fender liners, became a signature element of the W30 cars. Despite weighing over 3,700 pounds, the 442 W30 could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.7 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 14.2 seconds at 100 miles per hour. Impressive figures for a luxury-oriented muscle car. Like many manufacturers of the era, Oldsmobile likely underrated the W30's actual horsepower to help customers avoid high insurance premiums. Contemporary testers estimated the true output was closer to 400 horsepower. With its combination of speed, handling, luxury, and distinctive styling, the 442 W30 represented the perfect balance between comfort and performance, making it one of the most desirable Oldsmobiles ever created. Number 8. The 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 429. The 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 429 was Ford's ultimate muscle Mustang, created primarily for NASCAR homologation rather than street performance. At its heart was the legendary Boss 429 engine, a 429 cubic inch 7.0-liter V8 with hemispherical combustion chambers, aluminum cylinder heads, a 735 cubic feet per minute Holley carburetor, and forged internal components. Though officially rated at 375 horsepower, this figure was widely considered to be significantly underrated, with actual output estimated between 450 to 500 horsepower. The Boss 429 required extensive modifications to fit in the Mustang's engine bay, including relocated shock towers and a lowered suspension. Each Boss 429 was partially hand-built by Carcraft, Ford's specialty vehicle contractor, making it essentially a production race car with license plates. Despite its racing pedigree, the Boss 429 was somewhat disappointing in drag racing, as the engine was designed for high RPM NASCAR oval track performance rather than quarter-mile acceleration. The massive engine made the car nose-heavy, affecting handling and straight-line performance. Only 499 Boss 429 Mustangs were produced in 1970, following 859 units in 1969, making them among the rarest and most valuable muscle cars ever created. The Boss 9 represented Ford's engineering prowess at its peak, delivering a race-bred engine in a production car just before tightening regulations would make such a creation impossible. Number 7. The 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda. The 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda represented the perfect combination of Chrysler's most powerful production engine in its most visually striking package. Powered by the legendary 426 cubic inch 7.0-liter Hemi V8, officially rated at 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, the Hemi Cuda was the pinnacle of Mopar muscle. The second-generation Barracuda had been completely redesigned for 1970, shedding its Valiant-based origins to become a purpose-built performance machine with an aggressive, wide stance and iconic styling. When equipped with the Hemi engine, the Cuda received mandatory heavy-duty suspension components, reinforced structural elements, and a distinctive shaker hood scoop that protruded through the hood and vibrated visibly with the engine's movements. Despite weighing approximately 3,600 pounds, the Hemi Cuda could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.8 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 14 seconds flat. Impressive figures even by today's standards. Like many manufacturers of the era, Chrysler significantly underrated the Hemi's actual horsepower output, with modern dyno tests suggesting the engine produced closer to 470 horsepower. Only 108 Hemi Cudas were produced for 1971, as rising insurance costs and impending emissions regulations made the thirsty high-maintenance Hemi increasingly difficult to justify for average buyers. Today, the 1971 Hemi Cuda is one of the most valuable muscle cars ever made, with pristine examples regularly commanding millions at auction. Number 6. The 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 LS6. The 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 LS6 stands as General Motors' most powerful production muscle car of the era, and one of the most formidable street machines ever built. At its heart was the legendary LS 6454 cubic inch 7.4-liter big block V8, officially rated at a staggering 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. The LS6 featured a reinforced 4-bolt main block, forged crankshaft, solid lifter camshaft, 11.25:1 compression ratio, high-flow rectangular port heads, and a 780 cubic feet per minute Holley 4-barrel carburetor. Compared to the more common SS 396 and the milder LS 5454 models, the LS6 Chevelle was a purpose-built street warrior. When properly equipped with the M22 Rock Crusher 4-speed manual transmission and 4.10 rear gears, the Chevelle LS6 could sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.4 seconds and demolish the quarter mile in 13.7 seconds at 105 miles per hour. numbers that remain impressive even by modern standards. The SS454 was visually distinguished by its functional cowl induction hood, dual exhaust with chrome tips, SS badges, and optional bold racing stripes. While Chevrolet built more than 4,000 Chevelle SS454s in 1970, only a small percentage were equipped with the ultimate LS6 engine option, making genuine examples increasingly valuable collector cars today. The Chevelle SS454 LS6 represented the pinnacle of the muscle car era, offering uncompromised performance in a stylish, relatively affordable package just before emissions regulations and insurance rates would bring the horsepower wars to an abrupt halt. Number 5. The 1970 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Ram Air 4. The 1970 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Ram Air 4 combined striking aesthetics with serious performance, establishing itself as one of the most powerful and capable muscle cars of the era. Powered by Pontiac's high-performance 400 cubic inch 6.6-liter V8, with the rare Ram Air 4 package, this potent engine was conservatively rated at 370 horsepower and 445 pound-feet of torque. The Ram Air 4 featured round-port, high-flow cylinder heads, a high-lift camshaft, strengthened connecting rods, 4-bolt main bearings, and a sophisticated induction system that drew cool air directly from the functional hood scoops. The 1970 Trans Am distinguished itself with its unique styling, featuring the iconic Screaming Chicken hood decal, front and rear spoilers, fender vents, and exclusive polar white paint with blue stripes. Despite weighing nearly 3,700 pounds, the Trans Am Ram Air 4 could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in approximately 5.9 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 14.1 seconds. Impressive figures that backed up the car's aggressive appearance. Like many performance cars of the era, the actual horsepower was likely underrated, with modern estimates suggesting the engine produced closer to 400 to 410 horsepower. Only 88 Trans Ams were equipped with the Ram Air IFR engine in 1970, making it one of the rarest and most collectible Pontiacs ever produced. The Trans Am Ram Air 4 wasn't just about straight-line performance. It was engineered to excel in handling as well, with a specially tuned suspension, power steering, and front disc brakes that made it one of the best all-around performance cars of its time. Number 4. The 1970 Dodge Coronet RT Hemi. The 1970 Dodge Coronet RT Hemi represented Mopar muscle in its most potent and uncompromising form. Powered by the legendary 426 cubic inch 7.0-liter Hemi V8 engine officially rated at 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, the Coronet RT offered incredible performance in a slightly more practical package than its Plymouth Roadrunner or Dodge Charger siblings. The 426 Hemi was an engineering masterpiece, featuring hemispherical combustion chambers, dual Carter AFB 4-barrel carburetors, a forged crankshaft, solid lifter camshaft, and 10.25-to-1 compression ratio. When ordered with the Hemi engine, the Coronet RT came standard with heavy-duty suspension components, reinforced frame elements, and mandatory dual exhaust with chrome tips. The RT Road a Track package also included distinctive styling cues such as the bumblebee tail stripe, functional hood scoops, and RT badging. Despite its substantial 3,800-pound weight, a properly set up Coronet RT Hemi could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.3 seconds and demolish the quarter mile in 13.8 seconds at 104 miles per hour. Like most performance cars of the era, Dodge significantly underrated the Hemi's actual output, with modern estimates suggesting it produced closer to 470 to 480 horsepower. Only 14 Coronet RT Hemi models were produced in 1970, making it one of the rarest muscle cars ever built and a highly prized collector vehicle today. The Coronet RT Hemi perfectly balanced intimidating performance with daily usability, offering 4-door practicality coupled with supercar acceleration. Number 3. The 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner. 426 Hemi. The 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner 426 Hemi embodied the muscle car ethos in its purest form, maximum performance at a relatively affordable price. Named after the famous cartoon character, the Roadrunner was designed to be a stripped-down, lightweight performance machine focused solely on speed. When equipped with the legendary 426 cubic inch 7.0-liter Hemi FIF 8 engine, officially rated at 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, the Roadrunner became one of the most formidable factory hot rods ever created. The 1971 model year saw the Roadrunner receive a complete redesign, featuring more aggressive styling with bulging fenders, a power bulge hood, and distinctive graphics. The Hemi engine was the crown jewel of Chrysler's performance lineup, featuring hemispherical combustion chambers, dual Carter 4-barrel carburetors, a high-performance camshaft, and 10.25-to-1 compression ratio. Despite increased weight compared to earlier models, the 1971 Hemi Roadrunner could still accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in approximately 5.1 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 13.5 seconds at 105 miles per hour. Like many performance cars of the era, Plymouth significantly underrated the Hemi's actual output, with modern testing suggesting the engine produced closer to 470 horsepower. Only 55 Roadrunners were equipped with the Hemi engine in 1971, as rising insurance costs and looming emissions regulations made the thirsty high-maintenance power plant increasingly difficult to justify. The 1971 model year would be the last for the legendary 426 Hemi in production vehicles, marking the end of an era in American performance. Number 2. The 1970 Dodge Challenger RT Hemi. The 1970 Dodge Challenger RT Hemi represented Dodge's late but formidable entry into the pony car segment, combining stunning styling with raw, uncompromising power. Powered by the legendary 426 cubic inch 7.0-liter Hemi FIF 8 engine, officially rated at 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, the Challenger RT Hemi stood at the pinnacle of Mopar performance. The Challenger was Dodge's answer to the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro, but it arrived with more size, more power options, and more attitude than its established competitors. When equipped with the Hemi engine, the Challenger received mandatory heavy-duty suspension, a reinforced chassis, and distinctive styling elements including a shaker hood scoop that protruded through the hood and visibly moved with the engine's vibrations. Despite weighing approximately 3,800 pounds, the Challenger RT Hemi could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.8 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 13.7 seconds at 104 miles per hour. Impressive figures that validated its aggressive appearance. The Challenger was available in a wide range of bold colors with names like Plum Crazy, Go Mango, and Top Banana, often paired with contrasting stripes, giving buyers unprecedented customization options. Only 150 Challenger RT Hemis were produced in 1970, making them incredibly rare and valuable collector cars today. The Challenger RT Hemi wasn't just about straight-line performance. It featured a well-tuned suspension, power front disc brakes, and precise steering that made it surprisingly capable on winding roads as well. Number 1. The 1971 Pontiac GTO Judge 455HO. The 1971 Pontiac GTO Judge 455HO stands as the one ultimate evolution of the car that started the muscle car movement back in 1964. Powered by Pontiac's potent 455 cubic inch 7.5-liter V8 with the high output package, this engine was officially rated at 335 horsepower and a massive 480 pound-feet of torque, figures that were significantly underrated due to insurance concerns. The 455HO featured round port cylinder heads, a performance camshaft, a specially tuned Rochester Quadrajet 4-barrel carburetor, and free-flowing exhaust manifolds. The Judge package, named after a popular comedy routine of the time, added distinctive striping, a rear spoiler, special badging, and unique Rally 2 wheels without trim rings. The 1971 GTO featured a completely redesigned front end with dual headlights and a prominent grille, giving it an aggressive appearance that matched its impressive performance. Despite weighing over 3,800 pounds, the GTO Judge 455HO could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 13.9 seconds at 101 miles per hour. Figures that remain impressive even by today's standards. Only 357 GTO Judges were produced in 1971, and of those, just 17 were equipped with the 455HO engine, making it one of the rarest and most desirable muscle cars ever created. The 1971 model year would be the last for the iconic Judge package, as rising insurance premiums, stricter emissions regulations, and the looming fuel crisis would soon bring the classic muscle car era to an end. The GTO Judge 455HO represented the pinnacle of Pontiac performance and the end of an era in American automotive history. Those were the top 10 most powerful factory muscle cars of the 1970s, each representing the peak of American automotive performance before regulatory changes, and the oil crisis changed the industry forever. These legendary machines combined raw horsepower with striking design to create vehicles that still capture our imagination today. In just a few short years after these models were produced, performance would take a back seat to fuel economy and emissions compliance, making these early 70s monsters the last of their kind for decades to come. Which of these horsepower kings would you most want in your garage? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this countdown of Detroit's most powerful creations,